DRG Media Group and River 92.7 are bringing you all home Oahe Zap games all season long. Tune in on the radio, listen on the app, or watch live on drgnews.com. Now, let's send it to the broadcast booth for some Oahe Zap baseball.
It's a new day and a beautiful day here at Hyde Stadium. Sunny and 85 with a couple clouds hanging over top as the Oahe Zap look to get back on the right track. After winning 5 straight, they fall yesterday 14-2 in an uncharacteristic loss to the Nebraska Prospects, but they have a chance to avenge that loss here today. Hello everybody, I'm Justin Cowart welcoming you into the broadcast booth alongside Dylan Beach on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon to wrap up a long homestand, a 2-game series, 10 games in 11 days for the Oahe Zap. These guys are ready to take a couple days off, especially after yesterday, but they want to play some good baseball before they get the day off.
Yeah, there must have been something in the water in the Great Plains because all 3 ILB games last night, 10-run deficits.
Absolutely, and a couple upsets as well as the Fremont Moo took down the Casper Spuds by 10 or more runs. Saw what happened here last night. Very uncharacteristic. I was talking to Bob Habiger, the owner of the Oahe Zap. I said somebody must have done some sort of voodoo doll on the ILB or something to have those games go like that. Very uncharacteristic, not only for the Zap, but for a lot of teams. The Zap yesterday felt like they sleptwalk out into that game, felt very lethargic, and it was a game that they will soon want to forget. Hopefully they've already buried the tape on that one and look ahead to today's matchup against the Prospects.
Yeah, got to have short-term memory in baseball, and it's crazy how quick the momentum can change from those 4 games where you scored 10-plus runs to even the last game of that Plainsman series where you only had 5, and then last night where you only had 2 and you were getting dominated for a majority of that game.
Felt like the Zap were on an upward trajectory winning those 5 games, like Dylan mentioned. 4 of those games they scored 10 or more runs. Felt like the offense had finally hit their groove. There were so many games in which they were putting runners on. They couldn't get them across. They couldn't get big hits in situations. They snapped out of that. Felt like everything was going smoothly, and then yesterday happened. They lose 14-2. It started slow. It was a slow drip. They let up 1 run in the first inning, 1 run in the second inning, and then in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, they allowed 4 runs in each of those innings, including a grand slam to Jacob Perrin, which would prove to be the dagger. The run rule was put into effect. Rain was coming either way. The Zap were going to lose that game regardless, and I think they were just happy to get out of the ballpark last night.
Yeah, it definitely was not the day the Zap wanted, but you're going to have to forget about it. You got a lot more baseball to play this year. It was the first game of the second half. If you can bounce back today, you can still salvage a nice start to this second half.
An incredible outing from Jarrett Bell, the starter yesterday for the Prospects, and he went all 7 innings. You know, they only roster 3 pitchers, but when I was talking to their head coach down in the field before the game, I said, you know what, it doesn't matter how many pitchers you got on that roster. When Jarrett Bell can go out and shove like he did yesterday, you only need 1 arm.
He threw 7 innings with 84 pitches. I mean, he was just pitching to contact for a majority of the game. Strikeouts ended up going up as the game progressed, but I mean, for the most part, he was just throwing at the Zap were getting soft contact on about everything he pitched.
I asked him, too. I said, do you have a pitcher yet? He said, no, I don't know who we're going to put out on the mound here this afternoon. I said, well, you might still have Jarrett Bell available. I mean, he only threw 84 pitches yesterday. Looks just as comfortable as could be out there on the mound. We'll see if the Zap can get things figured out today. Let's bring you our starting lineups here. As always, we'll start with the visiting team, the Nebraska Prospects. We'll be sending out Kobe Hatcher to lead things off, playing out in left field. Jackson Schumacher will be playing center field, batting second. Jacob Perrin, who had that big grand slam against Jackson Cornett last night, he will be batting third and playing right field. At shortstop, it'll be Mike Valdivia. He'll be batting in the 4-hole, hitting cleanup. Aiden Martin will be batting fifth and DHing today. Elijah Russell will be playing first and hitting sixth. Nicola French will be catching today and batting seventh. Ripken Fleck will be playing third base and batting eighth. And batting in the 9-hole will be Jack Smolinski. He will be playing second base. The Prospects are in their darker black jerseys with the baby blue NP on their left breastplate. The numerals are in baby blue as well. Their caps matching the numerals and lettering on their jerseys. They've got white bottoms with a dark blue stripe down the side. For the Oahe Zap, leading off and back at shortstop will be Gavin Frazier. I think he feels pretty comfortable over at that shortstop position. We've been seeing him play some second with Jared Pugrad, but Jared's getting moved around today. He will be hitting second with Jared Pugrad. He will be playing third base, where we've been seeing a lot of Ty Farwell lately. Well, Quinn Ludvigsen back at first. We'll talk about how good it is to see him over at the first base bag here today. He'll be batting third. Vince Palizzi will be DHing and hitting cleanup. It'll be Aiden Johnson playing second. Nick Goldberg playing in right field, batting sixth. Alex Jackson will be playing in left, hitting 7th. Noah Cadena behind the dish, and Andrew Phillips batting 9th in center. Let's send it down to the field for our national anthem before we come back to introduce you to the starting pitchers. Sorry, Brian Oakland, your spot on the podium of Best National Anthem has been taken by Grace and Maddie Fisher. What a gorgeous rendition of our Star-Spangled Banner to kick off this gorgeous Sunday afternoon baseball game here between the Nebraska Prospects and the Oahe Zap. On the bump, it'll be Jake Fuller for the Zap. He will be facing 1, 2, and 3 of this prospect lineup, and in the bottom half of the first inning, we'll see former third baseman and now starting pitcher for the Prospects, Cody Cishek. The Zap are in their camouflaged blue and whites today, making it ever so difficult on our broadcast team to pick up numbers, but that doesn't matter. They look dang good out there in those jerseys. Navy blue caps, white bottoms, with the blue line down to either side. Dylan, it's a new day, and hoping for a new look team from what we saw yesterday out of the Oahe Zap.
And you got a new starter on the bump, a fresh day, some different jerseys than you've been wearing here lately. He picked out a great combo for his first day out on the bump.
Not a comment to disparage other first basemen for the Oahe Zap, but maybe the best defensive first baseman in Quinn Ludvigsen out there getting warmed up with his middle infield. Good to see him over there on the first base side, as I think the Zap feel most comfortable with his glove.
Yeah, it's not even disparaging the other first baseman because they all provide something maybe different than another. Polizzi, of course, with his bat, and then Hammonds, I feel like, does some different things than maybe Ludvigsen defensively. I feel like Hammonds is really good with the pickoffs, but we've seen Ludvigsen make some very incredible plays over there at first, and it feels so important to have his glove over there at first base tonight.
Absolutely. As we are getting set, a couple final warm-up pitches from Jake Fuller. He's an upper 80s guy, good fastball, some off-speed mixed in, and a new look for this starting rotation for the Oahe Zap, who saw a couple players hit the road last night, one of those guys being Jackson Cornett. Not exactly the final appearance for the Zap that Jackson Cornett was hoping for, but he did mention that he would love to be back in 2026, and hopefully he can turn things around and hopefully have a great season of college ball in between now and then.
Yeah, we root for nothing but the best out of our guys as we say farewell to a couple of guys, but we know we'll see him again one day down the road.
It's not goodbye, it's see you later. And we'll see Kobe Hatcher stepping in to the right-handed batter's box. 86 degrees at the time of first pitch. And now for the ball game, as the first pitch from Jake Fuller is in there for strike one. Called by home plate umpire Dre Martin, and J.D. Pullman out in the field for us here this afternoon. As Fuller's ahead 0-1, and now that one is fouled down the right field line, make it 0-2. Tell you something, we get some new umpires here today. Trey Martin, a former Zap ball player, and pretty tied in with the Bison organization as well, kind of the sister organization to the Oahe Zap. We'll see the Bison later in the season. Here's the 0-2 check swing. Did he go? They check with JD, and no signal from him until now, and they say he didn't go.
JD just kept us on the edge of our seats
He
there.
sure did. You know, if you ever need to know anything about Pierce sports or Central South Dakota sports, you ask that man in the umpire uniform down the first base line. He knows just about everything. He knew where Gray Zabel was going before the pick was even made. That 1-2 pitch is fouled off, and it'll stay 1-2. We were a little bit nervous if we were going to get umpires. It's very hard to draw high-level umpires for this league from around the state. Some guys, even Richard Gilmore coming in from Arizona. As the 1-2 pitch is in there for strike 3, and Kobe Hatcher will go down looking. Good start for the newest member of the Zap, Jake Fuller, as he records his first strikeout. Pretty efficient getting your first strikeout as a Zap player and your first at bat as a Zap player.
Great start. We'll see if he can use that as leverage to have a nice outing. The Zap could use a very steady performance from their starter here today.
I think that's an outstanding word to use, steady. That's something that we haven't seen much of out of these starting rotations. We've seen guys come in and have high pitch counts in the first inning as the first pitch is just off the plate for ball 1 to Schumacher. We've seen the opposite of steady, 35 pitches in the first frame, and then those guys settle down. They give you maybe 2 or 3 more innings as that one bounces in for ball 2. But we've only seen a handful of outings like the one we saw out of Aiden Johnson a couple weeks ago. Not a couple weeks ago. Feels like a couple weeks ago. It was actually a couple games ago when he threw 7 pitches in the first. The 2-0 misses high for 3-0.
It's just like that relationship between a pitcher and getting run support. The bats need to know that they can trust their pitcher to hold on to that lead. If you can go out there and be steady, gives those guys some confidence.
As Schumacher will put a base hit in past the diving outstretched glove of Gavin Frazier. So Jackson Schumacher, who was ahead 3-0, got the green light and took advantage of it as he rips a base hit. And that's the first prospect base runner of the ball game. But steady is a great word for what the Zap are looking for out of Jake Fuller, not only today, but as the season wears on. See if this Zap offense can get back going into their form that we saw these past couple games until yesterday afternoon, as that one misses high for ball 1 to Jacob Perrin. Jacob Perrin did some damage yesterday. He hit the grand slam as he rips another one into right field. Backtracking is Connor Goldberg, and he'll backpedal a couple more steps and make the grab for out number 2. We were mentioning Jacob Perrin hit that grand slam off of Cornett. And that would prove to be the winning runs as the Prospects won by run rule. Just a absolutely peculiar game out of the Zap. It's really hard to put into words how odd that game was for a team that had been absolutely blasting the baseball on the offensive side. Had been playing pretty good defensively leading up to that game as the first pitch to Mike Valdivia is in there for strike 1. And now Quinn Ludvigsen is going to call time and go have a quick word with the starting pitcher, Jake Fuller. Noah Cadena started to make his way out to the mound, but then turned back as that meeting was quickly had between Ludvigsen and Fuller. Curious about what that conversation could have been. I imagine it maybe would have been about keeping that runner close, as that one's fouled off. It's easy when you've had a guy to work with for a couple weeks, but Fuller, being new, probably doesn't have that unspoken bond with Quinn Ludvigsen, so some leadership shown by the Zap first baseman. Go over there and have a quick chat, make sure everybody's on the same page. That foul ball makes it 0-2 to Valdivia. We'll see if Fuller can get him. Runner goes. It's grounded softly to Ludvigsen. He gloves it. He taps his foot on the bag, and that's a quick first inning for Jake Fuller. So the Prospects get a base hit. They put a runner on. They can't move him around. And they get the third out of the inning via ground ball to Quinn Ludvigsen. We'll stay right here and deliver you the first inning Fiber Fact, brought to you by Venture Communications. Big thanks to Venture for sponsoring our first inning Fiber Facts. Fiber optics are pretty incredible, especially with their space communication. Fiber optics are essential for space exploration, providing a reliable means of communication with spacecraft and satellites. Not only can they do that, they can deliver you high-speed internet, and, well, it won't be affected by the weather. Saw some storms move through the central South Dakota area last night. Our thoughts and prayers are with those that were affected by the tornadoes around the state. And fiber optic with those storms can't be affected by the weather, so go ahead and call up Venture Communications. Get your fiber optic cables installed today and get that high-speed internet. It'll be Gavin Frazier, Jared Pugrad, and Quinn Ludvigsen, the 1-2-3 to face off with Cody Cishak, who we saw play third base yesterday. And I'm curious if he falls kind of into that category of true pitchers or utility guys that the prospects rely on as arms out on the mound.
Yeah, I got to talk to Coach about him a little bit. He says he's a two-way guy, so we'll see kind of how steady he can be on the mound for them. As yesterday, I mean, they just had as good of a performance from Bell as you could really imagine.
It was kind of a combination of a great outing from Jarrett Bell and kind of the opposite from Easton Pratt, who's been the ace for this Zap starting rotation thus far this season. Pratt was dealing with some heat, some of that condensation, sweat dripping down his hand. We kind of thought that maybe we were worried it could have been a blister or possible injury to Easton Pratt, but after having Jackson Cornett come up in the booth, we were able to ask directly from one of his teammates, and he said, no, he's dealing with some sweat rolling down the tops of his fingers, affecting his grip on the baseball. It was a very uncharacteristic outing from Easton Pratt. We saw some missed pitches, a lot of wild pitches go into the net, some that Mason Lang couldn't even grab with his glove no matter how high he jumped. So Easton Pratt had to deal with the conditions yesterday, didn't get his best outing, but we know that we'll see probably a much improved Easton Pratt the next time he comes out and pitches for the Zap. I'm sure he'll make sure of that. He's a guy that pitches with passion, and you could tell he was running hot yesterday when he didn't have his best stuff.
Yeah, and last night was certainly one to forget for the Zap. I think if that one would have been recorded on tape, we would have thrown it in the Missouri River already, but
probably would have done that or put it on the train tracks and let that beautiful train that rolls by in the 7th inning take care of it himself. First pitch to Gavin Frazier from Cody Cishak is outside for ball one. The 1-0 turns 1-1. Fastball catches the outside corner. It was funny, we saw Gavin Frazier out at second base for a couple games with the installment of Jared Pugrad over at shortstop. Both of those guys did great in those positions. As that one bounces up and into the chest plate of the prospect catcher Nicola French. I wonder if Nicola goes by Nick. If we had another game, that was probably something I could have asked the head coach for the Nebraska prospects, Gabe Shemwell. Here's the 2-1 to Frazier. He'll take strike two on the outside corner. Bit of a patient approach here from Gavin Frazier. He hasn't swung the bat yet. I wonder if that's the scouting report on Cody Cishak. Just let him try to throw some strikes. Czak comes set. The 2-2 is lifted down the left field line, and that's going to get down into shallow left field. Gavin Frazier hustling out a double. He's going to come into second sliding, and the throw is late. Kobe Hatcher wasn't exactly sprinting to get to that ball out in shallow left field, and Gavin Frazier had two on his mind, as he always does, no matter where the ball is on the diamond, and he takes second base. Really doesn't matter, like we said. We saw him steal second on a pass ball that he was walked on earlier this season.
And he's really shown some power. I mean, last night his last at-bat drilled that one into the gap, and then that one, another well-hit ball there from Gavin Frazier.
No matter what the score is, Gavin Frazier is going to be swinging, and now he's going to take off for third. Here's the throw down. He's not even going to attempt it. There was a strike to Jared Pugrad, but right on cue, Gavin Frazier, with that aggressive base running, has stolen third after legging out the shallow base hit. And now he's 90 feet away. And Czak, even though he's only faced one batter, has bounced a ball or two up there. So maybe a pass ball could score Gavin Frazier. Maybe Pugrad could do it himself. He swings and fouls that one off.
He got his first Zap hit yesterday. I'm sure he'd love to add to that with his first RBI here.
Well, he's going to have to do it from behind. The count is 0-2. Czak set. Not even a peek over there at third base on Gavin Frazier. long look in, and now the delivery. Off-speed pitch, and it's just a bit low. Man, that looked like a good pitch from up here. But Pugrad will take it. Bit of a dangerous take there on an 0-2 count. But the count runs 1-2. Cizak will look over at Frazier this time around, and now delivers, and the swing and a miss up high will retire Pugrad. So that's the first out of the inning. Cizak gets his first strikeout of the ball game, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Quinn Ludvigsen. Pugrad with a little bit of advice for Ludvigsen before he steps into the box. His customary cross drawn in the dirt. One of the guys that'll tap the catcher and the umpire with his bat, welcoming them to Hyde Stadium. Beautiful day for baseball, and a good crowd has made their way in here today. Not fazed by the tough loss yesterday. First pitch to Ludvigsen is off the plate for ball one. And this is a great opportunity. You see Jake Fuller go out, have an awesome top half of the first. You got Gavin Frazier standing on third with just one out. No matter how you do it, you got to bring this run in and get today off on the right foot. Ludvigsen will take a fastball on the inside corner for strike one. No breeze to speak of. I think the fans here on the home side that are basking in the sunlight would appreciate that to pick up just a bit. I think our left-handed hitters would like it too if it started blowing out from left into right field. And Ludvigsen doesn't need the wind on that one. He shoots it through the first base side for the base hit. Gavin Frazier will trot in, and the Zapper out in front, 1-0 for the first time in this series.
Crucial start for the Zap there. Finally throwing the first punch versus the prospects, and see if that changes some momentum from last night.
Quinn Ludvigsen will get the RBI, but you really have to credit Gavin Frazier and his aggressive base running for getting in scoring position. Not a lot of guys will be able to take second base on the hit that he placed into shallow left field. And that'll bring up Vince Polizzi. You want to talk about a guy who's been swinging a hot bat as he takes strike one on the outside corner. Vince Polizzi has homered 4 times in the last 4 games he's started in. 2 two-run homers and 2 grand slams. He's also got an RBI double mixed in there. 0-1 off the plate, 1-1.
He's already at 5 home runs of the year, just one shy of his tally last season.
I'm going to make a bold claim, a bold prediction. I'm going to say he's going to surpass last year's total. Here's the 1-1 to Polizzi. Breaking ball just on the inside corner for ball 2.
Team itself already one shy of last year's home run tally, so
I'm going to make an even bolder prediction and say they're going to surpass that as well.
Just all sorts of hot takes here.
You know, it might be a hot take for Polizzi. Here's the 2-1. As he drills this one into left field. That's not going to leave the ballpark. Jacob Perrin will be pushed back a couple feet shy of the warning track, but he'll stare up into the sunny skies and make the second out of the inning. But for Polizzi, you know, with that total last year, he got most of those in the span of a 2-day stretch. He hit 3 home runs in one game and then followed that up the next morning with his 4th home run in that span. But then he went quiet after that. It was almost as if he was chasing the long ball. But he has certainly been on a tear as of late. That'll bring up Aiden Johnson, another guy who's been hitting well. We saw him leave the ballpark as that one is fired in for strike 1. He sure loves to hit his home runs to that left field part of Hyde Stadium. Almost hits him over the exact same billboard that lines the left field wall there. Here's the 0-1 to Johnson. That one runs high.
Aiden always a lively guy. I'll be the first one to tell you that he is not very happy if every time he home runs it doesn't feel like it's in even close to a winning effort in these games.
That had been a problem for the Zap for the longest time. They had gone winless in games they hit the ball out of the park. As Johnson somehow fouls that one off. It was an off-speed pitch that Johnson swung his bat and kind of hit it off the end as his swing was finishing. He was so far out in front of that off-speed pitch. So we'll see what he sits here on the 1-2 pitch. 2 outs, Ludwig's in at first. Way high, he had to drop his bat out of the way so it didn't clip it as it crossed behind his back. That'll make the count 2-2. Gavin Frazier led off the game with a softly hit double into left. He stole third. And after Pugrad was retired, Quinn Ludvigsen brought him home with the base hit. Now Johnson with a sharp foul ball into the netting stays alive. And we'll do the 2-2 all over again. Czak hanging that right arm as Craig Kimbrell does, not as animated as Kimbrell. Here's the 2-2. That one's grounded the other way. That's going to be fielded cleanly by Smolinski. He's going to take it himself, go over to second base, and retire the side. But the Zap do score one. They take the lead. It's 1-0 after one. We'll be right back here with the top of the second at Hyde Stadium on River 92.7.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
Fuller back out on the bump for his second inning of work with the Oahe Zap. Got a nice run to work with now after Gavin Frazier. Some more tremendous base running from him on this young season. Legging out a double and then stealing third on the very next pitch. As Fuller comes set, that one swung on a miss for strike one.
Young season, you say?
It's still. I mean, we still got another half to go. It's not exactly young anymore, but still a lot of baseball to be played. As that one chopped towards Johnson, flinging over to Ludvigsen in time. Easy routine play for the third baseman / pitcher turned second baseman Johnson, and just like that, Fuller working quickly here today. As the pair of Southwest Baptist players out there, him and Pugrad college teammates.
There was a lot of excitement around Jake Fuller, too, talking to some of the guys down in the dugout. They were excited to see him in action.
It's always fun to see a new debut as he fires a first pitch strike. And he has looked very good so far. That was just his 17th pitch. He's been moving quickly. The 0-1. Swung on, chopped towards Frazier at short. Tried to slide, but it squeaks through for the second hit for the Prospects.
Second hit in the exact same spot.
The last time Frazier tried to dive for it, that time he tried to slide for it. Same result on both, unable to keep it in the glove. So a one-out single for the Prospects. As Fuller trying to get double play ball here and send himself out of the inning as Nicola French comes up to the plate. Fuller comes set out of the stretch, misses high for ball one.
Always makes me curious about the jersey selections. I know how many rotations the Zap have, We saw them in the yellows yesterday. I can't really imagine the next time they'll break those out after their performance, but
1-0, misses off the plate for 2-0.
seems like their opposing teams always wear their black jerseys or their darkest colored jerseys on the hottest days.
Yeah, it is not a jersey I would want to wear on a day like today. It's Fuller behind in the count, 2-0. Comes set, the runner goes. Cadena fell out of his glove on the attempt to throw. So the runner's in there standing. The runner was thinking about sliding all the way, but Elijah Russell never went down for the slide, maybe trying to keep his laundry clean for when he gets back home.
Well, I think he heard his dugout yelling, up, up, up.
As Fuller behind the count, 3-0. That one misses for ball 4.
They were yelling up, 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 and he almost took a tumble trying to keep himself up. He was halfway into his slide. I think at that point you got to just slide for the sake of it.
It looked like he was going to fall down the whole way as Ripken Fleck comes to the plate, today's third baseman.
I'm not sure if Noah Cadena has a new glove that he's working with this season, but he sure has an awful hard time keeping that ball in there.
I've seen him try to frame some balls that just kind of squeak out, and then that one he tried to throw out and just couldn't get out of the glove in time as that one misses outside for ball 1. Ripken Fleck out of Omaha, Nebraska. 2025 graduate. So this is going to be an incoming freshman next year as he watched strike 1.
Good experience for him playing against some seasoned college players. Also playing in a wood bat league. Offers a bit of a different exposure.
The 1-1 runs way off the plate for ball 2. That's kind of one of the unique things about this prospect team is a lot of their guys are either young college players who used to play for the prospects for their travel ball, or even some guys like Fleck who are getting ready to go play their college ball this season. The 2-1 from Fuller checked, but it doesn't matter. That one in there for strike 2. As Fuller evens up the count at 2 apiece. He's got a bit of a jam to work with here. Runners on first and second, 1 away as he shakes off a couple of pitches. Finally comes to agreement with Cadena. Sets, fires. That one fouled off sharply into the grandstand for replay of the 2-2.
Yeah, that one ran in on Fleck's hands, and he had to really squeeze the bat through the zone to get to that.
So we'll see Fuller redo that offering here. Runner bounce around at second a little bit. That one swung and chopped towards the Zap dugout.
Their first base coach almost making a nice play on that ball.
It's going to be a bare glove effort from their first base coach as Fuller comes set for the third straight 2-2 offering. Sets, fires. That one swung on and missed for strike 3.
Blew a good fastball by him. I think Fleck might have been thinking off speed the way that swing went through. He was way late. And a couple good pitches there by Jake Fuller kind of setting him up. Went inside on 2 different pitches, and Fleck fouled both of those off and then goes to the outside corner with the fastball.
Fuller gets a second strikeout of the day in a very important spot as he misses inside for ball 1. As another important out to move out of this jam. Still runners on first and second, 2 away. That takes the sac fly off the board. As he comes set, fires that one in there for strike 1.
That would be an impressive sac fly if he could score him from second.
Well, it's
Quite the
advancing the
diving
runners on 1 out.
We've seen crazier things at this ballpark, that's for sure.
As that one swung, driven towards Aiden Johnson, trying to catch it on the bounce. Unable to as he fields it cleanly on the second time asking. Fires over to Ludvigsen in time for the third out of the inning. So Fuller gets out unscathed. He still has a 1-0 lead heading to the bottom of the second here on River 92.7.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at united.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive, not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Hey Zap baseball fans, it's Justin Cowart. If you're interested in a podcast that's sports and only sports, you need to check out Players Perspective. I have athletes and coaches from the South Dakota area and across the country, from the high school all the way up to the professional level. Come on and tell stories of their biggest and best moments of their athletic careers. If it's sports, you bet we cover it on Players Perspective Podcast, sponsored by Avera. You can find it wherever you find podcasts by searching DRG Media Group or on drgnews.com. Now, back to myself and Dylan Beach in the broadcast booth for some more Zap Baseball.
Back here for the bottom of the second at Heinz Stadium. Zap lead 1-0. I'm Dylan Beach, joined alongside me, Justin Cowart. I know it's probably soon into the process, but we got any thoughts for the next guest on the podcast this week?
Thinking about it, we got to have a Zap player on, as we're still young in the season, so we got plenty of time to have one of those guys. There's a lot of guys that I would like to have out of that dugout, a lot of characters. We get to talk to some of them up here, and they start talking about some stuff outside of baseball that I would really like to dive into a little bit deeper. There's a lot of guys down there that have some good stories to tell, especially through summer ball. Some of the road trips they get to go on.
6, 7, 8 due up for the Zap. Goldberg, Jackson, and Kadena. As Czek comes set, fires that one in there for a first pitch strike.
Might even be able to get one of the newest members of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Connor Sanderson, who just got drafted. First South Dakota never to get drafted into the NHL. He's from Pierre.
0-1. Here to Goldberg. That one misses high. Runs in, catches him.
I didn't see that, but
I didn't either.
Everybody agrees, so we'll take it.
I was wondering what was going on, but evidently that one ran in and clipped him a little bit.
I was going to ask, was there two other balls that we didn't see and while we were talking podcast, talking hockey?
The first one just counted for more than one ball, evidently. That'll bring up Alex Jackson, starting today in left, as he has for feels like the last few games, as that one grounded sharply, diving and making the play over to second base in time was Fleck.
What a play by Ripken Fleck. We've seen some crazy hops over there at third. That one took a crazy hop while he was diving for it. Unbelievable stab.
Fleck stealing a hit there and firing over to second in time to get the lead runner Goldberg out, as that was nothing short of incredible. Alex Jackson at first, now one away for the Zap. Brings Kadena to the plate. As Czek comes set, fires. That one swung on a miss for strike one. Kadena looked really good the last time we saw him. We saw him in that Casper Spud series, had a 3-hit day behind the plate. He's behind in the count 0-1. That one misses off the plate for ball one. Alex Jackson over there at first, getting talked to by newly coach Andrew Wiggins. Played for the Zap last season. hung up the jersey and got a whistle as Cadena awaits the 1-1. The offering fouled off. Count runs 1-2. Zap with an early lead thanks to Gavin Frazier and Quinn Ludvigson. Gavin Frazier legged out a double on a very short hit ball out to shallow left. It was chugging all the way. Stole third. Ludvigson knocked him in. Zap, I'm sure, would love to add to some of their insurance as they've caught Jackson in a rundown, but they throw it wild. Jackson heading for third. They had Jackson just about dead to rights as he finally stops at third. That ball got way away, almost all the way to the Zap bullpen. Jackson's still deciding on if he wants to come home, but he'll go take a spot at third base. They had a good pickoff move to catch Jackson, but it was an errant throw, and he's going to steal second and third on the play.
I think that was more of Cody Cizak kind of being shocked to know that to see that Alex Jackson was making his way off of first. He had the pickoff attempt. It looked like he was about to throw, and midway through his motion, he hitched a little bit. And he caught him by surprise to see Alex Jackson kind of stuck in between. It was like they both froze.
It was a great pickoff move. He had him right where he wanted him. Just could not execute on the throw over to first. So Cadena now an RBI chance behind the count 1-2. As the offering runs inside and hits him. Cadena will take his base, and maybe some cracks showing here for Cody Cizak.
Well, he's definitely showing them physically. After that errant throw over to first, he started to hang his head, kind of bowed over, put his hands on his knees, and then after hitting that batter right there on that play, Noah Cadena, he went down, did the same move, kind of went down to his hands on his knees, head hung low, and now Jake Smolinski had to kind of go talk him off the ledge there on the mound. And even in that meeting, you could see Cizak kind of hanging his head, staring down at the dirt.
And Smolinski showing some great leadership there, going over trying to get his pitcher out of this spot.
It was a long game.
As runners on the corner for the Zap, one away, the offering to Phillips skips in for ball one. Good block there from French behind the plate. With Cadena at first, Jackson at third. Wouldn't be shocked if Phillips maybe showed a couple of bunts in this at-bat. That one runs low for ball two.
Or just let him continue to throw you balls.
Yeah. That would turn the lineup over to Gavin Frazier. As Phillips ahead in the count, 2-0. That one swung, drilled back the other way, but slice is foul. Was a little late behind that one. And just kind of kept hooking and hooking. Couldn't keep that one fair. Phillips really trying to put together a complete performance. We've seen sparks of brilliance from him this season, especially out in the outfield and defense. We haven't seen him really put together a breakout offensive day quite yet.
He's a sneaky speed guy. Doesn't look fast, but when he gets on the bases, he can fly.
2-1. Cadena runs. That one skips off the foot of Phillips. And he probably shouldn't have sold that one because that one would have scored a run and he'd have been ahead of count 3-1.
Tough for Alex Jackson. He was halfway to home, but he had to stop. As Phillips tossed his bat away, started heading down to first, and Alex Jackson, even after the home plate umpire, Trey Martin, came out and started to try to send him back, he still kept running to home.
Might have been one if you're Phillips there to just kind of act like it maybe didn't hit you. I mean, had to have skipped off you somehow to bounce over the catcher that extremely, but Cadena was heading to second and Jackson was heading for the plate. And still the Zap, nobody away now, bases loaded for Gavin Frazier. Got to find a way to get a couple of hits here and knock in these RBIs. Get some momentum back on your side. This offense was so hot in that 5-game stretch.
Could have pulled the Albert Bell there. Remember, Albert Bell got hit by the pitch and stayed at home. He said, nope, I know it hit me, but I don't want to take first.
Don't want to go.
He refused. He wanted to hit. And it took about a standoff of about 30 seconds between home plate umpire and Bell before he finally conceded and headed to first.
As Gavin Frazier now coming to the plate, bases juiced for him, and a chance to really blow this game open for the Zap after a forgettable performance for this team yesterday, trying to move on, clear their heads here at home. As Gavin Frazier a chance. As Czek comes set, misses off the plate for ball one.
It's always great to see GM Alex Sheets come into the broadcast booth, and especially on Sunday Fun Days, knowing that there might be something behind it.
1-0 to Frazier, drilled towards the third baseman, skips off him. Everybody will be safe. That one just ran in, catched off the body of Fleck. Everybody was running, and maybe a bit unfortunate there for the prospects.
I'll get to my point about Alex Sheets in a moment, but that as great of a play as Ripken Fleck made on that diving stop earlier today, that one was equally as tough of a play with the short hop, one that he couldn't feel, just careened off that glove, and, well, the Zap took advantage.
Brings Pugrad to the plate. That one in there for a first pitch strike. So everybody's safe. The run scores for the Zap. Cadena on third, Phillips on second, Frazier on first. Pugrad at the plate behind the count 0-1 as that one runs off the plate for ball one.
And to finish my point about general manager Alex Sheets, it is Sunday Fun Day. They do great things here at Hyde Stadium. They've got a new menu item on this Sunday Fun Day.
1-1 to Pugrad. Swung on, popped high. First baseman settling under it, making the play for the second out of the inning.
And that's a tough swing for Pugrad. He's upset about it. We know he is. That's the last thing you want to do with just one out and the bases loaded is pop out to the infield. Nobody can tag. It's not like putting a ground ball in play that we might see bounce off of a player's glove like we just saw with Ripken Fleck, and it's not deep enough to score the run. Pugrad visibly upset, and understandably so with that second out.
Elijah Russell makes the second out of the inning at first as it brings Ludvigsen to the plate. He swings on that one and misses for strike one.
And to finally finish my point about the Sunday Fun Day menu item, we saw last Sunday we had meatball subs that were just blow you away delicious. This Sunday it's bacon cheeseburgers at the ballpark. And Alex Sheets was coming in to ask when we wanted to debut those on the broadcast.
0-1 here to Ludvigsen. That one gets through. Cadena to come in and score. Phillips to third. He rounded and thought about coming in to score, but will put on the brakes. But heads up base running there from Cadena, ready to run with 2 outs, and gets the second across for the Zap.
And this is the Zap's MO. Put a little pressure on the defense and force them to make mistakes. We saw it with the Czek throw over to first base that went high. We even saw it in the first inning with Gavin Frazier. Sprinting out of the box, taking advantage of that shallow hit that Kobe Hatcher really didn't hustle 100% over to, and he saw that and got to second and was able to steal third and score. And now with the pass ball with bases loaded, when you put a little pressure on the defense, good things can happen.
It's a 2-run frame for the Zap. They lead 3-0. A chance to add here. 1-1 to Ludvigsen. Misses off the plate for ball two. Another hit could add pair more to the tally as you have the oh-so-quick Phillips at third and Frazier at second as Ludvigsen swings under that one for strike two.
And, of course, the benefit with 2 outs, runners will be moving on contact, so they'll get a head start.
Ludvigsen trying to come up big here for the Zap as counts even up at 2 apiece. The offering in there. That one driven back the other way. Ludvigsen, and that one's going to get over the head. 2 will score. Ludvigsen heading for second. He's in there standing. A 2 RBI double for Ludvigsen over the head of Hatcher out in left. And the Zap have blown this ball game up. 5-0 lead.
Great swing there by Quinn Ludvigsen. A little oppo power. It's fun to watch him swing the bat in that left-handed batter's box because from our vantage point, we can really see the way his stance transforms when he swings. He really squats down and gets eye level with the baseball and allows him to drive through it. And that's such a benefit.
He heads for third. Palizzi sends one back the other way, but that one camped under and caught by the right fielder, Jacob Perrin. But the damage was done. A 4-run frame for the Oahe Zap. Gives them a 5-0 lead. We'll be right back here for the top of the third.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media peek can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com, just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel, Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota.
Back here in the top of the third inning, as Jake Fuller takes the mound again for the Zap. Zap with a 4-run frame in the bottom half of the second, score 5 runs total in this ball game. They lead 5-0, getting back to shape after yesterday's loss. Fuller misses inside for ball 2. It's beach day at Hyde Stadium. See a couple beach balls bouncing around, a couple lays being worn by some fans, including our producer, director, Eli Lewis. He's getting in on the fun as Fuller fires one in there for strike 1. Dillon Beach is always beach day for him.
Hasn't been a day in my life where it wasn't beach day.
It's a good way to live life. 2-1 is fired in there for strike 2. Barely catches a piece of the inside corner, but it counts. And Kobe Hatcher is now evened up at 2-2 as prospects make their way back to the top of the lineup. Jake Fuller working efficiently as the 2-2 is in there for strike 3. Kobe Hatcher goes down looking at a good off-speed pitch for Jake Fuller, and he records another strikeout. Been really impressed with his pitch sequences today. He's been setting up hitters nicely. And even though those pitches are coming from the dugout, Jamie Habiger calling the pitches for Noah Cadena and these other catchers here these past couple of home games, they've been working well. Pitchers have been throwing good pitches. Yeah,
and he's not a guy who's going to really blow it past you with his velocity, but he has great placement of his pitches.
As he places another good one in there for strike 1 to Jackson Schumacher. Schumacher, a strong right-handed hitter. Sets up with that left foot kind of cocked back behind the right foot as Fuller misses down and away for ball 1. Kind of keeps an open stance, and then that pitch gets delivered. He shuffles that left foot back in line with the right. And he drills that one into the left field corner. That one is going, and that one is gone. So right on cue, he puts some power into that one, and Jackson Schumacher delivers the first run of the ball game for the Nebraska Prospects, and he sends it over the left field wall. Man, he tattooed that baseball. You could hear that one through the windows that are closed up here in the broadcast booth.
I don't think I've seen a ball leave this park so fast this year. I mean, he crushed that one just on a straight line out of this ballpark.
Yeah, it didn't have the upward high trajectory that we see on some of those real beautiful home runs. That one was a line drive. And now another sharp base hit. That one gets down for one as Jacob Perrin, who we saw put a charge into one last night. There was a grand slam over the center field wall. Continues his good work at the plate.
Back to back, just great barrels and exit velos.
Those really sound good off the bat. And that'll bring up Mike Valdivia, prospect shortstop. First lefty here in the top of the third, and that one wasn't barreled up. That one missed everything. He swung and missed at that off-speed pitch as the bottom fell out of it as it crossed the plate. Oh, 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed quickly. 0-2. So two really good off-speed pitches there from Jake Fuller. Has Valdivia behind. See what Fuller comes back with here. 0-2 misses outside for ball one. A 5-1 lead for the Zap here in the top of the third inning. 1-2 swung on and missed for strike three. Man, he is just setting up these prospect hitters, and he's dancing with them.
Good to see him respond after giving up back-to-back barrels and that big home run, and that's a confidence builder there. A beautiful off-speed pitch there.
Beautiful off-speed pitch to get now shifted and slapped towards the right field corner. Connor Goldberg underneath it, and that's the third out of the inning. So good work from Jake Fuller. He does give up a solo home run to Jackson Schumacher and a really sharply base hit to Jacob Perrin. But that's all the prospects get. Zap head to the bottom of the third, still in front 5-1 here at Hyde Stadium.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
Couldn't ask for better weather on this Sunday afternoon at Hyde Stadium. A couple wispy clouds hanging out, but a pasty blue sky over top, sun shining and basking. A couple kids out on the diamond playing the water balloon game. This is maybe the kids' favorite on a hot day here in the middle of summer in central South Dakota. A couple players partaking as well.
So many.
There's a lot of contestants today as it is hot. And I think those fans, some of the fans enjoy the water balloon giveaway that takes place in about the fifth inning. They'll hand out those water balloons, and their delivery method is firing them in like a Jake Fuller fastball. Cody Cezak still on the mound for the prospect. Zap leading 5-1. Justin Cowart, Dylan Beach bringing you the game here on River 92.7. Also on drgnews.com via the Oahe Zap YouTube. A lot of fans from not only around the state but around the country like to tune into our ball games. A lot of fans from Nebraska tuned in here this afternoon. And if you're not at the ballpark, well, you must not be hanging out in central South Dakota, because there's nowhere else you'd rather want to be is on this Sunday fun day where they're delivering you and serving some bacon cheeseburgers, what will which we'll get to try for you later today. Give you the full rundown on how good those are. I saw them being grilled up on the Blackstone. Had my mouth watering. Aiden Johnson, Nick Goldberg, and Alex Jackson due up for the Zap here in the bottom of the third. Johnson takes ball one outside. And now he takes strike one on the outside corner. Count even at 1-1. We even get an appearance of Shock the Wolf here today. As Johnson takes strike two on the outside corner. Two good fastballs by Czak.
And even he's rocking a lay today.
Shock is rocking a lay. Shock has also been up here in the AC quite a bit. As we've seen him. As that ball is down low, check swing. They appeal down to first, and J.D. Pullman says he did go. So Johnson will be rung up on the swinging strike. I don't envy the job of Shock the Wolf. That mascot, it's hot today, and that is not a very breathable mascot costume, but Shock is doing an outstanding job making the rounds, saying hello to all the young fans. First pitch to Nick Goldberg. Misses down and away for ball one.
I mean, I think he could manage to be hot in that costume in a freezer, let alone out on a day like today.
As Goldberg takes ball too high. Shock just taking in some of the scenes and sounds and smells at Hyde Stadium here on this Sunday afternoon. Here's the 1-1 from Czak. That one misses down and away. The count is actually now 3-0. Our scoreboard operator is really battling today. The 3-0 pitch off the plate. 4-pitch walk to Nick Goldberg. So after a strikeout, Czak loses Goldberg. And that'll bring up Alex Jackson with a chance to do a little bit of damage. I think the Zap would love to repay the favor. Connor Goldberg. Not sure where Nick came from. Sure, Alex Jackson and the Zap would love to repay the favor from yesterday afternoon, where the Prospects handed them 3 straight 4-run innings. Pick-off attempt. Connor Goldberg back diving safely. And now he's grasping at his right shoulder. This does not look good. Goldberg dove back to first and laid there for a moment and kind of made a signal. Maybe looking like he was joking and joshing around with his dugout, as we often see. That is not the case. He immediately called timeout and grabbed at that right shoulder, and he is writhing in pain as the Avera medical staff will make their way over. We'll step away for the moment. We'll be right back here. Zap leading 5-1 with an injury to Connor Goldberg.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
We are back here at Hyde Stadium And I wish we had better news. They are still tending to Connor Goldberg over at first base. Cody Cezak made a pickoff attempt. Goldberg dived back and just laid there for a moment, lifted up his left hand to call time, and just stayed there flat on his stomach. Once he was awarded time, he immediately grabbed at his right shoulder. And Coach Wiggins over there at first base, immediately sensing something was wrong, didn't signal over to the medical staff. He signaled over to head coach Jamie Habiger. And from what I can only imagine, that was kind of a nervous moment where he didn't know where else to go but to his head coach. And so they're tending to that right shoulder area. And we can only hope the best for Connor Goldberg, who is laying on his back. And thankfully, we've got the Avera medical staff here. They always do a great job tending to athletes at all the events that they cover. But there's clearly concern, not only with the Zap dugout, but with the players out in the field for the prospects. All eyes are set on Connor Goldberg.
It's always a heartbreaker to see any injury at any level, but especially at summer ball, and these are just guys out here trying to improve, go back to their college and have a nice season, and
some great,
hope he's all right.
Yeah, some great sportsmanship there from Elijah Russell and Jake Smolinski, as they were there to help Goldberg back up to his feet. And it's scary with the no contact injuries, because you can just never be too sure. Normally, if it's a contact injury where there's a collision of some sort, maybe the guy's just shaken up, but with the non-contact, that's when you really get nervous. So Connor Goldberg will be pinch ran for. I haven't really been able to see the number, as it looks like Nick Golden, who will be checking in. We'll keep you updated if we can get any updates, as this one is skied up by Alex Jackson, a mile high on the infield. Underneath it and squeezing it is Mike Valdivia, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So Nick Golden will stay put there at first. That'll bring up Noah Cadena with 2 outs. And we know how good the Zap offense has been with 2 outs this season. See if they can get a little 2-out rally going here. They lead 5-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cadena fouls off the first one into the caging behind home plate. And if you're Cody Cezak, that's got to be tough too. We saw him kind of throwing back and forth with his third baseman, Ripken Fleck. But you know, you're kind of cruising along, and then an injury and a long break like that happens. As Curiel fouls it back this way.
Heads up.
Bounces off the cage and into the home side crowd. And a couple of young fans scurry over trying to get that free slushy and trading card. They couldn't get to it in time. They'll try again later. Here's the 0-2 pitch here to Noah Cadena. Off the plate. Nick Golden faking the steal, had to scamper back to first, as Nicola French thought about throwing down. We've seen a couple of Zap players maybe getting a little lackadaisical over there on first, faking a steal and then getting thrown out. Getting caught behind him. Nick Golden being heads up over there. The 1-2 to Cadena. Golden going this time, but it's all for 9 as that one's fouled into the netting.
He timed that jump really well, too, and Cadena just trying to stay alive at the plate and keep this inning going.
Yeah, we'll see if Cezak maybe tries to keep Golden put over there at first base. Cezak kind of twitching that head back over to first. No runner. And this one driven into shallow center field. Coming on and charging. That's not going to get caught, and it's past Jackson Schumacher in center, who ran right by it, and Nick Golden's going to take home plate all in one sweep. Schumacher came charging on, and that ball just bounced a couple feet right in front of him. I think he lifted up his head to see where Nick Golden was on the play, and when he did that, it scooted right by him. Schumacher had so much speed that he lost his footing after running by that. Nick Golden was able to round third and head for home, and the Zap will steal a run out of it.
And it was kind of hitting to that no man's land out there, and it was going to be a hard play to make and throw, and he just kind of ran himself past it with his momentum.
And Noah Cadena, all in the flurry of what happened, took second base. So the Zap leading 6-1 now. They've now scored in all 3 innings they've been at the plate. And we'll see if Andrew Phillips can keep the 2-out magic going. Man, it is just amazing how much offense the Zap have gotten this season with 2 outs on the board. Phillips will take strike 1. Good fastball there from Czak over the middle of the plate. One in the first, 4 in the second, and 1 here in the third for the Zap. Jackson Schumacher, the lone run for the Prospects, came on that line drive home run. Phillips will take ball 2 down low. Works the count to 2-1.
And we see a lot of guys kind of dance around at second base, and Cadena kind of looking like in a baseball video game where you kind of tap to advance the runner a little bit and then pull him back. He's kind of crab walking back and forth out there.
He is crab walking, kind of creating a trail of footsteps over there, about 15 to 20 feet off second base. That one will miss low. Count runs 3-1.
And it's like when you tell the runner to take a step off a little bit and then you kind of send him back and forth. He's not going anywhere. He's just kind of crab walking back and forth, kind of in place maybe.
I'm sorry to tell you, you're missing me with the video. I don't play the MLB The Show. I should. As Phillips checks his swing, thought he got ball 4, but Trey Martin had other plans, calls it strike 2. I'm going to take your word for it. I've just seen how hard it is to hit those balls in that game, and it just makes me not want to play.
It is way too difficult.
3-2 pitch, 2 outs, runner on second. They're going to check on Cadena, and he crab walks his way back to second base.
Hey, he did his job out there.
Dylan Beach pressing B and having his runner scurry back before the throw got there in time.
He distracted him.
Czak now set on Phillips. The payoff pitch misses inside for ball 4. And we're back to the top of the Zap lineup and Gavin Frazier.
Yeah, just context for last night. The Zap only got through the lineup 2.5 times. They're already starting that third turn of the lineup. So a much, much better day from the Oahe Zap already.
Well, what we felt was that at some point, once they got through the lineup at least twice, they would be able to figure out Jarrett Bell and what he was doing. That was not the case. Jarrett Bell with a gem last night against the hottest offense in the ILB. And Gavin Frazier will take strike 1 on the outside corner. I mean, it's amazing what Jarrett Bell was able to do after the Zap had scored 10 or more runs in 4 of their 5 wins. 5 wins in a row. Felt like he was coming into a buzzsaw, and well, it was vice versa. They ran into a buzzsaw in Bell as Frazier takes ball 1 outside.
Yeah, Bell was just mowing down the lineup. And it wasn't even with the strikeout like we saw at Augadal in that Spearfish series. It was with a lot of weak contact from the Zap.
A lot of weak pop flies, weakly grounded balls. This one is drilled into the left field gap for Gavin Frazier. That'll be cut off by Schumacher, but rounding third and heading for home. The throw will go to third, and it is not in time. And Noah Cadena will score from second. And Frazier will get to second base. Great piece of hitting from Gavin Frazier. There was nothing weak about that line drive.
Yeah, he is really swinging it right now. Already 3 for 3 today, and just always ready to run whenever he gets out on the base paths.
Couple of sharply hit baseballs for Gavin Frazier. Has the Zap out in front 7-1, and this is more like it. This will bring up Jared Pugrad, see if he can continue this 2-out rally. We say it jokingly that the Zap should just come up with 2 outs every single time. But it is truly amazing how they really never give up on an inning. Pugrad with runners on second and third. And he grounds one sharply to the left side, and that's going to get through for the moment. A beautiful stop by Mike Valdivia, but it got deep enough into shallow left field that Jared Pugrad was able to leg it out. He scores the run. It was a great stop, but it'll count as the base hit.
Yeah, that one took a crazy
8-1 Zap. It sure did. You got to give credit to Mike Valdivia for being able to cut that off. It got through the diving third baseman attempt of Ripken Fleck, who we've seen already make a beautiful play over there with the leather. But Jared Pugrad with another nice base hit for the Zap. It's their third run here, the bottom of the third. And Quinn Ludvigsen back up to the plate, and he takes ball one outside.
If they can get out on this batter, I mean, that one certainly saved a run from Frazier coming in to score as well.
There's still a big gap over there between shortstop and third. And Ludvigsen sends it that way. His second opposite field strike, but this one's going to be tracked down by Kobe Hatcher. They had him played deep, and wisely so, but the Zap bring three across in the bottom of the third, all with two outs. They lead 8-1 as we head to the top of the fourth inning.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around? Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy it at downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes. Pay by the round. Save with a punch card or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Back here in the fourth inning, and maybe a lesson on why you don't showboat. We had the dress-up race and a kid just absolutely dominating it, and he was letting his friend know about it, and then kind of waltzed on in at the end of it and got beat at the finish line as that first pitch lined into center field gets down in front of Phillips for a leadoff single.
It's always a fun game to watch those kids playing. They've got experience from the school year when they wake up 15 minutes before the first bell, and they got to throw on all the clothes that are hanging out on the floor. So they've got the experience, but yeah, the kid, he got the pants on, got the jersey on, got the hat on, and started to flex a little bit, and then he kind of cakewalked it in.
Fuller comes set. That one swung on a miss for strike one.
And he didn't see his buddy coming up quickly behind him.
And the only thing he was missing there was telling his mom that he missed the school bus.
That's always tough. There's two tough things like that.
0-1 pickoff over to Ludvigsen, not in time.
It's when you tell your parents you missed the bus, or when you come into their room at 11:30 and say, "Mom, I've got a project due tomorrow morning, and I need one of those white poster boards."
As Fuller comes set, the 0-1 swung on again for strike two.
I got a guy in here who can attest to that happening all too often.
You weren't getting your projects done early, Justin?
That was what you would call a classic procrastinator.
As Fuller trying to get the beer batter here. Comes set, fires. That one misses high for ball one.
And Trey Martin toying with the fans a little bit. He started to signal strike and then changed it to that was a little bit up. He's a showman, keeping the fans on the edge of their seats.
See if Fuller can get him here. The 1-2. Steps off for time.
Let these fans soak in it a little bit.
Fleck trying to stay alive here. As Fuller trying to give these guys some cheap beer. 1-2, fouled off. We'll get a redo of that.
I have a feeling we might get a foul ball coming our direction. I might open up the broadcast window here. It's a beautiful day.
Fuller struck out the beer batter his last time up. We'll see if he can. Or no, that was Fleck the last time up that he struck out. It was not French right here. We'll see if he can get him. That one fouled off probably the last part of the bat. Staying alive again.
Catches it by the whiskers.
Barely getting a piece of lumber on that one.
I mean, that had to have caught a single stitch of that baseball.
Making Fuller work hard for this. The 1-2, that one fouled off again. We've got some showmen. We got the umpire Martin behind the plate, and we got Nicola French fouling off all these pitches, keeping these people on the edge of their seats.
Got me standing up.
3 straight foul balls. Fuller trying to put him away. The 1-2, that one runs inside and hits him on the elbow guard.
I don't think Nicola French appreciates being the beer batter too much. He really, really liked that hit by pitch. I've never seen somebody so amped up about getting hit by a pitch before. I think he liked shutting down the beer batter chants.
I mean, they do say thank you after the strikeout nowadays, but he wasn't a fan of being the beer batter, but he has done a good job staying alive on those. Has yet to go down. He walked his last time up and then getting hit by the pitch there. So a bit of a jam here for Fuller. Runners on first and second, nobody away. And Ripken Fleck up to the plate. Fuller comes set, delivers. That one drilled back the other way. Jackson giving chase, settling under it and making the first out of the inning. Looked a bit uncomfortable there for Jackson. Looked like he was kind of deciding if he wanted to slide or not for it, but staying on his feet and bringing in the first out.
Well, we know what he wanted to do.
His heart was telling him one thing, his brain maybe another.
He said, I've got a runner on second base. I can't slide and give up the possibility of him tagging up. You want to talk about a showman, Alex Jackson. Loves to put on a show in left field.
Brings Smolinski to the plate. That one misses high and inside for ball one. So runners on first and second, one away here for the Oahe Zap. They hold an 8-1 lead. And a nice bounce-back day here for Sunday Fun Day. As Fuller comes set, that one inside for strike one. Jake Smolinski trying to come settled in here. Get some momentum back in the prospects' favor. As Fuller coming set for the 1-1. Infield playing deep. That one misses off the plate for ball two.
It's beach day today. We've got some other fun events coming up here at the ballpark next week, don't we?
And we got Bark at the Park next week.
What day is that?
I believe next Saturday.
Great.
I believe that's July 5th. Bark at the Park at Hyde Stadium. The 2-1 from Fuller. Swung on a miss for strike two. Bring your canine friends down to Hyde Stadium. We'll have treat vendors, have all sorts of fun at the park for that.
I know one guy who's looking forward to that.
As Fuller comes set for the 2-2. Sets, fires. That one swung on a miss for strike three.
Another great off-speed pitch from Fuller. And this is great to see from Jake Fuller. He's got a 7-run cushion. He gets 2 runners on with nobody out, and he settles back in. He stays focused, and he's pitching like he's in a 1-run ball game.
Fuller, his 5th strikeout of the day. He has really went to that off speed for his put-away pitches, and it has been lethal so far. 2 away for the Zap as that one put into play, driven towards right center field. Phillips giving chase and making the play for the 3rd out of the inning. A bit of caution there from the Zap. 2 runners get on, but they both go stranded as Fuller really settling in nicely on his Zap debut. The Zap lead 8-1. We'll be right back here on River 92.7.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
4-5-6 leading things off here for the Oahe Zap. They lead 8-1. A nice bounce-back game here at Hyde Stadium. A beautiful, picture-perfect day brings Vince Polizzi to the plate as he watches that one low for ball 1.
It's good to see the Zap bats snap out of whatever that was yesterday. Getting run ruled. They want to deliver themselves a little run rule here this afternoon.
Czek comes set and misses for ball 2. His pitch count running high. That was his 72nd pitch of the ball game, and with a limited pitching staff on the road, might be something to watch out for. The 2-0 runs inside for ball 3. I have to imagine if there's any Zap player with a green light in this situation, Polizzi might be one of them. The way he has been swinging it here as of late, could certainly add another run in just one swing. The 3-0 misses high and inside. Polizzi gives a smile back to Trey Martin behind the plate and runs to first.
Did he not think that was a ball?
I don't know if he thought that one caught the zone or if he really wanted to swing it the next pitch or what. But giving a smile to former Zap player turned Bison coach and turned official for today's ball game as he becomes the umpire for tonight. And it's not something you see every day, but Trey Martin coming in from the home state of Kentucky with Eli Lewis as that one swung foul from Aiden Johnson. That one lands in the foul grate and drops back down. I'm so thankful that one didn't land in the foul grate. I get enough kids asking me about the one that's already up there saying, can you guys get that down from the broadcast booth? And no, I am not Tarzan. I'm not going to go hang from that grate and go get that foul ball down for you so you can get a slushie. As Johnson fouls that one off.
This sounded a little bit personal, Dylan.
I get a lot of kids asking me about this. I don't know how
right there.
I don't know how you'd get it down. I'd have to move the table and get something, maybe a long stick to poke it out with, as Johnson behind in the count 0-2. Polizzi on first, nobody away. Zap lead 8-1. Cizek comes set, fires to Aiden Johnson off speed, misses off the plate for ball one. Cizek took a lot off of that one.
And we'll see Trey Martin next week, but in a different capacity.
And the Bison visiting dugout as they get ready to start their season, as that one misses for ball two. Bison, sister organization to the Oahe Zap, one of 3 traveling teams in the ILB. We'll get to see them for the 4th of July series. And they'll hit the road, the 2-2. Johnson sends that one towards third. They turn to second. The throw is wild. Polizzi heading for third. Was not going to be a routine double play, but the throw was errant, and Polizzi will advance all the way to third.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough play for Ripken Fleck to make. Moving forward and having to throw across your body is never easy, especially when you have as much momentum as Fleck had. Kind of came through with the throw, pulled Jake Smolinski off the bag. Kind of a tough play all around to make, but good heads-up base running by Polizzi to be able to pop up and head to third.
Brings Nick Golden to the plate, and that one runs inside on the first pitch and catches him on the leg. Man, that guy gets hit by a lot of pitches, and he is well into double digits.
He didn't think that he was going to be getting hit by any pitches today but of course, with the injury to Connor Goldberg, when he was diving back to first, Nick Golden thrust into action.
The 12th time he's been hit this season, and he's still got another half to play.
That's pretty absurd when you think about it.
Nick Golden, sure he'll love to see the Bison into town. He was on the Bison last year, coming over, playing for the Oahe Zap this season. Getting a full permanent home, as we'll see the new pitcher come into the ball game for the Nebraska Prospects.
Tough outing for Cody Cizek for the Prospects. He came out, he pitched well, but just the Zap, I think coming in, it's a tough task to come up against a team after their bats had just gone completely cold. They got embarrassed at home yesterday. They're wanting to come out, prove a point, prove themselves. So Cody Cizek kind of coming into a tough situation for the Prospects. I thought he pitched well, but I thought the Zap bats hit better.
Jackson Cahoy now on the mound, bases loaded, nobody away. And that a threat of this one getting past the double digits required for the mercy rule. Of course, we'd still have to play a few more innings to get there, but the Zap putting up some big offense here early. They got one in the bottom of the first on some good base running from Gavin Frazier before a big 4 and 3 run second and third. And they are already threatening to add some more here.
Yeah, Cahoy looks like he's got a pretty casual delivery. And that's one of those things for the Zap. I think what we've seen out of their hitters so far, even from the first at bat from Gavin Frazier, has been patience. I think that has been kind of a word that they have wanted to carry into today's game at the plate. And we saw good patience, waiting for Cizek to take pitches. And we didn't really see that yesterday. We saw them jumping on some early pitches from Jarrett Bell, popping up, grounding out, not really trying to run his pitch count up as high as you could. But they were able to do that with Cizek today. And we'll see if they can stay patient here with Cahoy.
Cahoy, a two-way player out of Southeast Community College, inherits a big jam here, trying to keep things where they're at. But yesterday was an outstanding effort from the Prospects, and today the Zap kind of finally getting their number after Bell delivered just an absolute gem on the mound yesterday. Went 7 innings pitched with just a little over 80 pitches thrown. And man, he was just stellar on the mound, and wasn't even really the swing and miss stuff that was really getting the Zap to bite. It was kind of they were seeing pitches and they were just miss-swinging a little bit, and it was just weak contact killing them all night, and some good defense from the Prospects. As brings Alex Jackson to the plate, bases juiced, nobody out. First offering from Cahoy, that one driven from Jackson right into the glove of the third baseman, back in time to second for the double play. Aiden Johnson got caught off the bag. An incredible play there from Fleck. Fired back over to Smolinski. And just like that, 2 away for the Zap.
Yeah, and can't really blame Aiden Johnson too much for getting caught up there. That was a hard hit ball. And we know how aggressive these Zap base runners want to be. Tough situation for Cohoy to come into.
Golden steals on the first pitch. That was a strike into Cadena.
But he got a pretty good start with that double play ball.
Yeah, the defense was so good for the prospects last night and already helping out Cohoy here. On his first pitch, got a double play in a very untypical fashion as Cadena rips that one grounded to the third baseman. Fleck fires across the diamond in time for the third out of the inning. So the Zap have bases loaded, nobody away, and add nothing to this lead. But they still lead 8-1 here at Hyde Stadium.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
Jake Fuller only had 60 pitches out for the top of the 5th inning. Zap with a commanding 8-1 lead. And aside from that home run by Jackson Schumacher and the sharply hit ground ball by Jacob Perrin, Jake Fuller has been absolutely unblemished here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's been a great outing for him so far, and it's his debut. He hasn't been in town for too long, but it feels like he's been here the entire season.
We'll continue to see him here this afternoon. It's been a pretty good day here for the Zap. They've scored 8 runs on just 5 hits. 4 hits for the Nebraska prospects, the 1 run on that Schumacher homer. And a really good day from Jake Fuller. He hopes it continues here in the 5th. Zap had bases loaded there in the bottom of the 4th inning with nobody out. And the double play ball, and then the really nice play by Ripken Fleck to end the inning there is what got them out of that jam. Got some defensive adjustments. We'll let you know here in a moment as Jackson Schumacher will come up to the plate to face Jake Fuller. Of course, we're keeping an eye on that Connor Goldberg shoulder injury that did not look good. He dove back into first on a Cody Cezak pickoff attempt and immediately grasped at that shoulder. As the first pitch into Schumacher is an off-speed pitch for strike 1 from Fuller. The 0-1 from Fuller in there quickly for strike 2. So he works back quickly. Caden Bazanski has checked in at second base for the Zap. Nick Golden still out in right field for the injured Goldberg. And a swing and a miss on strike 3, but it pops away from Cadena. He tumbles back to the ball, throws it down to first, and it gets by Quinn Ludvigsen. Tough play all around for Noah Cadena. And that's unfortunate for Jake Fuller as Jamie Habiger is going to make his way out to the mound. Only 63 pitches for Jake Fuller. And we'll see if Habiger just wants to have a chat with his starting pitcher or if he wants to call it a day for the newest member of the Zap. A couple high fives going around and a pat on the shoulder. And we see Bryce Van de Wastein heel clicking his way from the Zap dugout, and that'll be the end of an outstanding first start for Jake Fuller. We'll see another defensive substitution in the outfield, a couple actually. But a rounding of applause and a standing ovation for Jake Fuller as he shows some great stuff for what's to come here in the second half of the season for the Oahe Zap. Only gives up 4 hits. And a great job by Jake Fuller So Nick Golden has been moved to left field in this substitution, and Jake Daly has been subbed into right. As Jamie Habiger moving a couple things around. Alex Jackson's day is done. And we get to see Bryce Van de Wastein. Always enjoy seeing Bryce pitch.
Looks like it's been a while, too.
Yeah. One of the most trusted left-handed relievers out of that bullpen for the Oahe Zap. Bryce Van de Wastein, a guy that'll, you never have to worry about giving 100% effort, that's for sure. Van de Wastein firing in some warm-up pitches. He'll inherit the one runner on first base after the strikeout by Jake Fuller got away from Noah Cadena. They couldn't complete the play. I want to talk about effort. Cadena sure gave a strong effort to try to get to that ball. But credit Jackson Schumacher for legging it out, getting in the way of that throw, and Quinn Ludvigsen couldn't make a play on it.
Ends a good outing for Fuller. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts for his Zap debut.
I'd say that's a pretty good debut for Jake Fuller. And Jamie Habiger, not a high pitch count, but wanted to ease him in. I think that's a perfect amount of pitches for a guy who just got off the bus.
And that's a very promising start because he was cruising with just 60 pitches here in the top of the 5th. I mean, he could have went a couple more innings. I think when we see him in a couple of weeks, maybe when he's settled into this team, he's a guy who could maybe go good 7 innings.
He definitely wanted to. I know Jamie Habiger probably wanted him to, but also wanting to say we're up 8-1 in this ball game. We've seen 3 innings of scoring. And in that last inning, even though the Zap weren't able to bring anybody across, they got bases loaded with nobody out. So I think Jamie Habiger maybe rolling the dice, thinking that he will get to that 10-run rule limit at some point here in the next couple innings. But we'll see Bryce Van de Wastein with a runner on first. He's headed for second. Cadena couldn't keep it in his glove, and Jackson Schumacher will stand on second.
That was certainly the pitch to steal on 2 off speed from Van de Wastein, but Cadena, he's had some troubles with the throw from behind the plate this year.
It's not so much the throw, it's keeping the ball in the mitt to make the transition. There's the 1-0 from Van de Wastein. That one chopped foul on the third baseline. And I'm not sure if it's... We've seen him drop the ball on some framed pitches, and we think that's from trying to catch it out of the zone and keep the glove in the zone. But also maybe just trying to get that transition too quickly. Here's the 1-1 from Van de Wastein. That in the dirt, blocked by Cadena. Schumacher will scamper back to second.
Got an assist from his face mask. It skipped up and then bounced straight back down.
Whatever it takes to block that pitch and keep the runner put, that's what this catching room will do for you. 2-1 from Van de Wastein. Deep breath. One peek back at Schumacher in the delivery. That's inside for ball 3. You want to talk about an animated guy, Van de Wastein will let you know exactly what he's thinking on the mound. As he steps off, collects his thoughts, deep breath. The 3-1 is driven towards Frazier. It's short. He'll gather and fire, and that'll be the first out of the inning. But the runner does get to third. And I think if you're the Zap right now, outs are more important than runs with an 8-1 lead.
It would have been a hard play to make it third. I think you'll always take the out over the lead runner there.
It wasn't really hit that hard, and it would have been asking a lot for Jared Pugrad over there to catch that ball and tag out a speedy Schumacher. That'll bring up Mike Valdivia. Valdivia with 1 out. Takes ball one just a bit outside. Aiden Martin in the on-deck circle. Elijah Russell in the hole. But Van de Wastein does not want to face Russell. Here's the 1-0. Breaking pitch off speed. Falls into the strike zone for strike one. And now Van de Wastein maybe feeling a little bit of rhythm, working quickly. And now he steps off, taps himself on the chest, saying, my bad. Maybe working a bit too quickly. Now he's set for the 1-1. And the pitch is drilled. That one is deep to right center field. Looking up and watching it sail out of here is Andrew Phillips. So Bryce Van de Wastein gives up the 2-run home run, and Jamie Habiger, as quickly as he left the mound, is back out to talk to his relief pitcher.
Yeah, that one was absolutely belted. I mean, the 2 balls they've put out today have just been, they left the ballpark in a hurry.
Tell you what, they sure get their money's worth on these home runs. We've seen a couple in this short 2-game series, including Jacob Perrin, who hit that grand slam yesterday. That was a no-doubter. And that one from Mike Valdivia hit about halfway up on that netting, protecting that playground out in center field. So that'll make it an 8-3 lead for the Zap. Nebraska with 2 runs here in the top of the 5th, paired with that 1 run in the top of the 3rd. That's their 5th hit of the ball game. Zap have as many hits, but a lot more runs. Now Aiden Martin will climb into the right-handed batter's box. Nobody on, 1 out. And he fouls that one back our direction off to the right. Gonna rattle off the top of the press box and down into the stands below. Van de Wastein comes set with the 0-1. That one just a bit high for ball one. That fan flaunting that foul ball off to a couple kids that were just a bit too late to it. Here's the 1-1 from Van de Wastein. That off the end of the bat, but just cues foul. So that'll make it 1-2. Martin going to fix the batting gloves. See if Van de Wastein can bounce back from that 2-run home run.
You know, we saw Fuller bounce back nicely after he gave up a home run. You need to see Van de Wastein settle in here and give the Zap some good innings.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Van de Wastein. Check swing. Did he go around? He sure did, says J.D. Pullman. And that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. It comes via strikeout, the 1st for Van de Wastein. Now we'll try to sit down Elijah Russell. Russell rocking the Air Jordan cleats. Those look pretty good. They don't really match the uniform, but I guess you've got the Chicago Bulls red and black with the North Carolina Tar Heel blue.
Style trumps all, and those shoes sure do look nice.
And now he lifts one to center. This one going to be a bit more playable for Andrew Phillips. He's called off by Caden Bazanski, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. But the Prospects get 2 on a 2-run home run. They trail 8-3 as we head to the bottom of the 5th here at Hyde Stadium.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes. Pay by the round. Save with a punch card or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel, Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Cohoy back on the mound for the Prospects. Zap leading 8-3 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the top of the lineup after Andrew Phillips leads off in the 9-hole. Jackson Cohoy inherited bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th. You got with nobody out, too, we should mention. You got a line drive by Alex Jackson that turned into a double play, and then Noah Cadena grounded out. Ripken Fleck made an awesome play over at third base to retire the side. So the Zap came up empty for the first time in the ball game. They scored 1 in the first, 4 in the second, then 3 in the third. See if they can bring a couple more here across in the bottom of the 5th. The first pitch to Phillips is taken for strike 1 on the bottom half of the zone.
We always talk about efficiency. 3 pitches, 3 outs to start the day for Cohoy.
That'll bode well for the pitch count. Slow delivery from Jackson Cohoy. He's not a flamethrower by any means. His pitches kind of mirror his delivery. It's very smooth, much like the golf swing of Fred Couples, just almost effortless the way he delivers those pitches, and he's ahead 0-2. That one way high and away, missed his spot there. We'll see what he comes back with the 1-2 pitch, shaking off a couple pitches from his catcher, Nicola French. The 1-2, just a bit low for ball 2.
Cohoy, your typical 4-pitch mix, fastball, curve, slider, change, tops out around 85 on that fastball.
Good scouting report there from Dylan Beach. Here's the 2-2 to Phillips. Swung on and missed. He pulled the string on that one, and Phillips goes down swinging. They can't get it cleanly around the infield, but Cohoy gets the first strikeout of the inning and of his outing. That'll bring up Gavin Frazier back to the top of the lineup. Frazier has had an outstanding day today, 3 for 3 at the plate. And he'll look to stay perfect as he steps in. Cohoy working from the windup. His first pitch to Frazier is ripped up the middle, make it a 4 for 4 day for Gavin Frazier. Well, we got beach balls flying around the crowd today, and Gavin Frazier seeing that baseball about the size of a beach ball as he delivers another hit for the Zap, and that'll bring up Jared Pugrad. Man, he has just been assaulting this middle infield today. Plastering balls through there. So we'll see if Gavin Frazier gets busy over at first base. There he goes. Pitch is outside. Throw down is not in time as Frazier is in sliding head first. Slid past the bag and had to stretch out his left leg to make sure he kept contact. A good play there by Jake Smolinski to keep that ball in the infield dirt. So he had to block the throw from French. Good pitch to run on off speed that ran off the plate. And we know Gavin Frazier can get busy. He's stealing third. Throw not in time. No, throw never even made as it fell out of the glove of French. I'd say Gavin Frazier's feeling himself today.
I mean, 4 for 4, 2 RBIs, and that is third stolen base of the game already. I mean, he is just lightning in a bottle out there.
He is picking them apart. The only reason he didn't steal second in his first trip around the bases is that one is bounced up there for ball 2, is because he kind of stole second on his hit. The ball fell in front of Kobe Hatcher out in left field. And he didn't get over to it in time, and Gavin Frazier saw it and split for second base. The 3-0 pitch off the plate for ball 4. And things are in motion here for the Zap as Quinn Ludvigson's coming up to the plate.
We can see at times how hard Frazier is on himself. I think we'll be enjoying this performance today.
Yeah, it's hard to be tough on yourself with 4 for 4 and a bunch of stolen bases and some runs scored at that too. Quinn Ludvigson drove in the first run of the game today. And it was the guy standing on third and Gavin Frazier. Off goes Pugrad for second. That pitch is called a strike. So Pugrad advances 90 feet. Ludvigson's got him on second and third with just 1 out.
Good chance to add to his 3 RBIs today.
The 0-1 is ripped right to the shortstop. They're going to fire over to third to try to get Frazier, but he's back standing. Mike Valdivia didn't have to move a step to catch that line drive.
Sometimes it's not meant to be, Quinn. I mean, you just belted that one. Just only issue, you hit it right at him.
He's put a bunch in play today. He's hit 2 opposite field shots to left field, one that was caught by Kobe Hatcher. Robbing the Zap of a couple more runs. We'll see if Vince Polizzi can get it done. He takes ball 1 down and away. I might call my shot here. I think Vince Polizzi's going to leave the yard. As he drills one into the left field corner, it is going to bounce off the bottom of the wall. That'll score 2. He's chugging for second. The throw is going to be not in time. He slides under the tag. Well, I almost got it right. Dylan's got a big smile on his face. We'll take a 2 RBI double for Vince Polizzi in lieu of the home run.
You're so close, man.
He sure put a charge into it. Zap lead 10-3.
I felt like a Cubs fan almost standing out of my seat when that one was getting drilled towards left, but it died a little bit too early. But, I mean, that was a just shot there from Polizzi.
So Vince Polizzi adding to his RBI total on the season. He's got a king-size lead in that department for the Zap. And Caden Bazanski will come up.
29th RBI of the year for Polizzi.
As that one misses high and away. Ball 1 to Caden Bazanski. More 2-out hitting for the Oahe Zap. What else is new? And Bazanski awaiting that off-speed pitch. Fouls it back into Capitol Avenue. Count even at 1-1. Bazanski's got a lot of room down that left field line. Zap have been peppering that part of the ballpark. He's going to shoot this one up the middle. Vince Polizzi was off and running. He's going to get the stop sign at third. But Caden Bazanski delivering a 2-out base hit. And that'll bring up Nick Golden to the plate. Looked down at my play sheet and forgot that Nick Golden got moved over to left. But he'll climb into the left-handed batter's box nonetheless. He's got a chance to add to the RBI total today and continue to build this Zap lead. They've scored 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. He's got 2 on with 2 outs. Golden squaring to bunt. And he is kicking himself as he fouls that one towards the prospect dugout. Man, he looked like he wanted to slam the bat there after that failed bunt attempt. Infield still back, even though Golden showed bunt. He's going to swing this time around and take ball 1 high. Fast runner in Caden Bazanski. We'll see if he tries to steal with 2 outs and a runner on third. There he goes. Pitch is high and away, no throw. So now a base hit by Nick Golden could score 2 more.
Couldn't have even thrown if he wanted. There was no one there to cover.
Yeah, they were set in their ways there on the middle infield. Here's the 2-1 to Golden. He takes ball 3 inside.
Cahoy did not like that one. Had a very visible, kind of head thrown back after that call.
A look of shock as he falls behind 3-1. The pitch is high for ball 4. So now Jake Daly will come up with bases loaded and 2 outs. You know how much Jake Daly would like to get a base hit here.
Yeah, it'd be massive to score some of these runs, try to get to that run rule and get the prospects back for what they did to you on your home field yesterday.
A little bit of payback would be nice for the Zap. And if they could save some of those bullpen arms before a couple days off, or they head on the road to an all-important series with Spearfish. First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Jake Daly. Jake Daly and Andrew Wiggins were having a long conversation about the game of baseball down in the dugout before the game. That one misses low for ball 1.
Jake Daly, I think if I had to ask anyone on this team a question about anything, I think I'd go to him. That guy's just a walking knowledge, just encyclopedia.
Here's the 1-1. That one lifted into center field. Turning and chasing is Schumacher. That's going to get over his head. Jackson Schumacher couldn't chase it down, and the bases are going to clear. Jake Daly with a bases loaded double makes it 13-3 in the bottom of the 5th. That sure didn't look very enticing off the bat, but Jackson Schumacher just kind of chased in to start and then had to turn and change his course, and he couldn't track it down. And a 5-run frame here in the bottom of the 5th, all of which coming with 2 outs.
And Jake Daly proving why it's been such a tough decision making that outfield lineup every day. I mean, he can really swing it himself, and some of these other guys are coming alive, and him showing why he should get a chance.
So now Noah Cadena with a chance to continue to add to the lead here. That one misses high. Cahoy with a bit of a look of disgust out there on the mound.
He's been throwing a lot of off-speed stuff. It doesn't really feel like he's been going to that fastball very much at all.
Another off-speed pitch is driven the other way for Cadena. Haviger is going to throw up the stop sign. I think Jake Daly was a little upset there that he didn't get the chance to show off the wheels.
We saw the last time he rounded third, he trucked through the catcher, so maybe Coach Haviger erring on the caution side.
And now it's up to Andrew Phillips to keep this 2-out rally going for the Zap. The way it stands now, the Zap would be 6 outs away from getting the win via run rule, exactly what they had done to him yesterday. Phillips with a rip shot down the right field line. Does it have the legs? It's going to get down off the bottom of the wall. Golden will score. And now, inexplicably, they're going to hold the runner at third. What happened there? Noah Cadena got held up at third. Jamie Haviger pointing out to right field, throwing his hands up. Maybe wanting to show a little mercy. I can't explain what just happened.
It was a good relay back in, but it felt like one that you could certainly have sent him on.
Well, maybe just wanted to not run into that third and final out. I'm not sure, but the Zap lead 14-3. with Gavin Frazier coming up to the plate. Frazier will rip one to the shortstop. That's going to rattle off the glove of Mike Valdivia, and no play. Noah Cadena will finally come to score. It's 15-3 Zap. And that's the 7th run here in the bottom of the 5th.
Gavin Frazier, 5 at-bats, and he's reached every single time. Already a 2nd time up in this inning.
That's right. The Zap have batted around here in the bottom of the 5th. And we'll see if Jared Pugrad can keep the cycle going. It has just been a carousel of Zap hitters here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This is the 11th Zap batter here in this frame, and Pugrad with a big swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch.
And Cahoy's been going to the off-speed a lot, but that one was by far the best we've seen him. Really pulled the string out there.
Bottom drop down on that one. Here's the 1-1 to Pugrad. He lifts this one a mile high, back behind the plate. French giving chase, sliding and almost making an outstanding catch. Kind of makes you nervous seeing the catcher running full steam ahead towards that brick wall behind home plate. Glad to see French kind of hit the brakes. Left 2 big shin pad skid marks in the warning track right here to the left of the on-deck circle. So we'll do it again. Pugrad takes ball 2 off the plate. And if Pugrad could reach, it'll give Quinn Ludvigsen another opportunity. We saw him hit that one sharply to the shortstop his last time up. That one misses off the plate outside for ball 3, and the count runs full. Three and two, 2 runners on, 2 outs. The pitch to Pugrad is line foul back off the Hyde Stadium sign behind home plate. Well, I would say it's a little bit tougher to go from a faster thrower like Czak to a more prominent off-speed pitcher like Jackson Cahoy, but it hasn't been a problem here for the Zap. A far cry from that 3-pitch inning we saw in the bottom of the 4th. The 3-2 pitch misses outside to Jared Pugrad, and that'll bring back up Quinn Ludvigsen. Gabe Shemwell will come out to talk to Jackson Cahoy, but there's nobody up and warming in the bullpen. And we might get to see Naruto Saito. We see him warming up in the on-deck circle for the Oahe Zap. Naruto, a guy that might be heading out here shortly. And somebody I think everybody here at Hyde Stadium would love to see bat for the Oahe Zap.
One last swan song, man.
Well, we didn't see anybody up and warming in the bullpen for the Nebraska prospects, but we do see Jackson Cahoy making his way to the dugout. So we'll see a new pitcher here for the prospects. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be back with more from the bottom half. Zap leading 15-3 here on Sunday afternoon at Hyde Stadium.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
Back here, a new pitcher on the mound. And a huge, massive inning here for the Oahe Zap, as we've got ourselves a treat here on Sunday Fun Day.
We knew that we could smell the bacon cheeseburgers being grilled. But the great general manager, Alex Sheets, has delivered. And we've also got a move over at third base. Elijah Russell will take third. Drew Borner at first. And Ripken Fleck coming in from third to pitch here for the Prospects. He's got 2 outs, but he inherits a bunch of runners on. And Garen Gledhill will be subbed in to now hit for the Oahe Zap.
It was a late pull from Quinn Ludvigson there. He was in the batter's box before they pulled the pitcher, and then they pull him for Garen Gledhill. But a great day for Quinn Ludvigson. Put a couple of really just sharply hit balls into play. Only 2 of them found real estate, but that's always something you can hang your hat on, just swinging the bat really nicely.
Sunday fun day here at the ballpark. They're always putting a new menu item on Sunday home games. This week it's the delicious-looking bacon cheeseburger as Garen Gledhill takes strike 1. And Dylan, it's not your inning, so if you want to let her eat, I'll let you hit the mute button there. And Gledhill drives this one high into the sky down the left field line into no man's land. That is going to drop fair. Oh, man, if it rains, it pours here for the Nebraska Prospects. 2 more runs are going to score as Garen Gledhill just fits one into the Bermuda Triangle out there and left. And the Zap are finding every which way to score runs. It's 17-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. And that scoreboard out there is working hard. They're going to run out of real estate on the bottom of the 5th frame. They've scored 9 runs here. They've only got room for 1 digit. So if Naruto Saito gets a base hit, they're going to have to start over fresh. Great to see Naruto Saito has been dealing with a bit of an injury here lately. A fan favorite in Saito, somebody we hope to see more of. He takes ball 2 down and in. And in true hospitality from Alex Sheets, as Saito rips one down the right field line, that's going to curl foul over the bullpen. True hospitality, he even brought one for my dad who's hanging out for the weekend. We'll get his review of the bacon cheeseburger. Don't get too full. We've got some Dakota Butcher steaks coming our way tonight as that one runs inside for ball 3 to Naruto Saito.
Give him something to hit here. Fans want to see him get a hit in his swan song here, man.
Even if it's way off the plate, just swing at it. That's in the dirt, bounced in. The runner's going to trot home to score. And Jared Pugrad will make it 18-3. Well, we talked about a little bit of payback here, and that is exactly what the Zap are doing to the Prospects.
And it's a 0-run frame on the scoreboard for the Zap.
If you're trying to do the math, if you're just passing by Hyde Stadium and you're thinking 1 run in the first, 4 in the second, and then 3 in the third, and then nothing else, how did they get to 18? Well, it's been a 10-run 5th inning frame and a big swing and a miss for Caden Bazanski. It's strike number 1.
This inning just keeps on chugging along.
Sure does. Maybe this is what the doctor ordered here for the Zap. Bazanski swings and misses at strike 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch just off the plate for ball 1. So Ripken Fleck just trying to get them out of this what's seemingly never-ending bottom of the 5th. That one bounces up. Nice block back there by French. Keeps everybody posted. Sure is a Sunday fun day for the Oahe Zap here at Hyde Stadium. Here's the 2-2. That's grounded back towards third. What a play by Elijah Russell. He bobbles it for the moment. The throw pulls the first baseman off the bag. And more runs coming in for the Zap. Garen Gledhill will tap home. It's 19-3, the Zap lead.
I'm not sure if I've seen many 11-run frames in my day. I don't know if Hyde Stadium's seen many 11-run frames, and it's a very long career either, but a 1 on the scoreboard means 11 here, and this is trending in the football category.
It sure is. We are close to a 3-touchdown lead for the Zap, as this one is fouled off by Nick Golden. Well, the Prospects, a young team, not a deep roster. They're learning something about their character here today. 12 hits, 19 runs for the Zap, 5 hits, 3 runs for the Prospects.
It took a big result to try to win in the aggregate after yesterday, but the Zap are kind of trending towards doing that in the series too.
If you put these two games of this series together, it doesn't look like much, but they've been 2 lopsided games in game 1 and 2. This one's ripped down the first base line off the glove of Drew Borner, and that's going to score another. So Saito gets to touch home, and it's 20-3 Zap.
This is like that one GIF that people use. It's just all the runners, and they just have their hands on each other's shoulders, and they're just walking all the way around the bases.
Yep.
12-run frame. 20 runs in a baseball game is just not something I thought I'd see this summer.
So that'll bounce off the leg there of French on the first pitch, and casually strolling to second base is Nick Golden. I don't really think Nick Golden wanted to steal second base there, but it's kind of, you still have to play the game.
Gavin Frazier is 3 batters away from coming up for the 3rd time this inning, and the Zap barely got to that last night in general.
Check swing, ball 2. So it's 2-0 count to Jake Daly. And I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves correct, all 12 of these runs have been scored with 2 outs. 2-0 misses high to Jake Daly for ball 3.
They have. And this is, we make a lot of jokes about the 2-out rallies, but I don't think I've seen one like this just ever in the sport of baseball.
It's really boosting up that 2-out run percentage for the Zap. Jake Daly will take ball 4 high. And we get to see Noah Cadena again. Feels like Andrew Phillips was just on deck.
Everyone was, it feels like. This inning won't end.
So a 12-run bottom of the 5th for the Oahe Zap has them out in front 20-3. First pitch to Cadena, high for ball 1. And they've only scored him with 13 hits, as this one is lifted high down the right field line. Drew Borner tracking, staring, called off by Jacob Perrin. And the long frame comes to an end, but not before the Zap score 12 runs. They lead 20-3, and all 12 come with 2 outs. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Bryce Van de Wastein back on the bump for the Zap when we return.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
Back here in the top of the 6th, Bryce Van de Wastein steps back on the mound after what felt like an eternity. That was probably one of the longest innings Hyde Stadium has ever seen. It's a 2 on the scoreboard for a 12-run frame for the Oahe Zap. And a lot of substitutions out there. We saw a lot of pinch hitters. Might take us a little bit to figure out who all's where. Garen Gledhill's at first base.
He does not look comfortable over there, Dylan.
No, he does not. He
There's
looks
balls flying towards him. He's looking over at the dugout with his hands up in the air.
It's not a great look for him, but I think Naruto Saito coming in for, I think he's subbed out for Bazansky maybe, but I don't know. That was a long inning where we saw a lot of substitutions. He might even came in for the DH at that point. It was just an inning that could not end for the Zap as Van Wastein steps up and fires that one for a strike. French swung on and missed that one.
It may have been the longest inning that we've had here, but it didn't feel like the longest inning we've had here. We've had some opponents score 7 runs on us in an inning before that felt like they're still going on.
Well, I think if the Prospects would have scored 12, it would have felt like the longest inning ever, as that one fouled off the other way. Since it was the Zap and we're the home team broadcasters, that one might have felt a little shorter to us.
Yes.
I'm sure for any Prospect fans out there, that one might have felt like an eternity. I'm sure it felt like an eternity to Bryce Van Wastein. He has been sitting in the dugout for a very long time.
I wonder if he had to do anything to stay loose in there.
He comes set for the 0-2. That one fouled off the other way. Through the gap and out of play.
Our burgers almost got cold. That's how long that inning was.
And man, that was a good burger. Make sure to get out to Hyde Stadium every Sunday fun day for a new menu item. As Van Wastein comes set for the 0-2, that one clobbered back the other way high, giving chase is Golden and making the play. Excuse me, that's Jake Daly. Still getting caught confused in the carousel of Zap players that came up that last inning. Was just a couple runners or a couple batters short of going through the cycle 3 times. Gavin Frazier led that long inning off and almost came up. He came through a second time and just about came up for a third time. It has been an outstanding day for Gavin Frazier, but it's been about an outstanding day for about every Zap player at this point. It's hard not to be great in a 20-3 ball game.
You know, yeah, it's hard to find somebody that hasn't contributed in a 20-3 ball game. When you're even getting guys off the bench coming in to contribute on this one.
Zap missed the point after attempt. They're stuck at 20. Has that one in there for strike 1. See if they can make the next PAT.
I think they went for 2.
As the Prospects kicked a field goal early in this one. As Van de Wastein comes set the 0-1, that one skips in there for ball 1. Van de Wastein just a huge grin on his face right now.
How could you not? You got a 17-run cushion out there as a reliever.
We heard Jackson Cornett talk about how hard it was to pitch in an 8 or 9 run ball game. Well, that one fouled off for strike 2. I'm sure it's a very foreign land to be pitching in a 2 touchdown and a field goal lead, a 17-run ball game right now. And after last night's game, it felt like the Zap were going to need to have a day at the ballpark like today, and they certainly responded. They gave up 2 touchdowns last night themselves. The 1-2 fouled off over the press box. My car is nice and safe today. Went and made the smart call, parked behind the bullpen out there. I kind of weighed my philosophy on that one. I think there's a lot more foul balls over the press box than home runs down that right field pole line. So the 1-2 from Van de Wastein swung and missed. And Van de Wastein already rolling here in this 6th. And the Prospects down to their last 4 outs of this ball game.
Well, this is a great opportunity for Bryce Van de Wastein to pitch pretty carefree, which is something that he doesn't seem like he does very often. You know, he always feels like he's pitching right on the edge. This is an opportunity for him to just kind of shrug his shoulders and throw some easy pitches.
That one lined or grounded towards Frazier over to first base, not in time. Gledhill tried to pick it, but I think even if he made the clean pick, wouldn't have got the out. So an infield single there for the Prospects.
Well, that wasn't all on Garen Gledhill. That was, Gavin Frazier kind of took his time to get that throw out. And you got a fast runner. I know you're winning 20-3, but you got to play like this is a 1-run game.
Smolinski reaches. It brings Corey Kozad to the plate. Prospects entering in some new batters, clearing out their dugout. As Van de Waalstein, he always takes his outing seriously. I'm sure he'll be watching back this pitching performance. So hello to Bryce if you're listening to this. This one's sky high. Zansky settling under it, makes the third out of the inning. As Bryce Van de Waalstein goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll be right back here for the bottom of the sixth on River 92.7.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend, no joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash, and hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be, and trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com, just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Back for the bottom of the sixth in the Zap, leading by a whole lot here as Emiliano Curiel checks in for, I believe, Andrew Phillips. And I feel like just about every Zap player will be substituted for in this one, but still see Gavin Frazier warming up the on-deck circle as that one runs high and inside for ball one to Curiel. Gavin Frazier will be coming up for the sixth time in this ball game as Curiel watches strike one. Thought about swinging, didn't go. As Curiel's had a nice little stretch here himself. The 1-1 to him. Swung on, driven towards center. Settling at the warning track and making the play, I believe, Schumacher, but they have been shuffling around a few players as well, so a nice play there, but good swing from Emiliano Curiel. Just couldn't get enough to send that one out to the deepest part of the ballpark.
You know, I was thinking, I think everybody would feel pretty good about a quick prospect inning here, but of course, you know, you get to 2 outs, that's when the Zaps start to hit the ball.
Gavin Frazier swings on that one and misses for strike one. Gavin Frazier, probably one of my early choices for player of the game. 4 hits as he watches that one in there for strike 2. 4 hits, 3 stolen bases, 2 RBIs. He's reached every time. He reached on an error his last time up as he drills that one towards the third baseman, skips past the glove. Gavin Frazier not going to try to leg that one out for 2. He's got through the glove of Russell. Hot corner has been particularly hot today for the prospects, and just a few that they haven't been able to put anything on as TJ Eikenberry heading out to be the third base coach instead of Coach Habiger.
Coach Habiger's arm probably got tired that last inning.
As Pugrad comes back up, he himself contributing well in this one. I mean, it's hard to look at anyone on this roster who did not contribute in this one, as he's ahead in the count 2-0. Frazier having a conversation over there with the first baseman, Drew Borner. I'm sure there's a lot of fun conversations going on out there in a 17-run ball game as that one misses high to Pugrad. We have Saito due up after Gledhill as the 3-0 here to Pugrad misses low for ball 4. Bring Garen Gledhill back up. He came in for Quinn Ludvigson at first and looked a little uncomfortable out there at first during the warm-up session. There was balls flying everywhere, and he just kind of stood there with his arms up. And he tried to make a nice pick move on not the best throw from Gavin Frazier in that last frame, but the Zap got out of it unscathed.
He was making his new first baseman work a little bit over there.
As Gledhill, certainly a fan favorite back in his second year with the Zap. Certainly a player favorite, too. Definitely a big locker room guy on this team as he's quickly ahead 2-0 in the count. Saito in the on-deck circle. 2-0 to Gledhill, driven towards right center field. That one has bye-bye on it, and that one dies at the track. Garen Gledhill just dying towards that deep part of the ballpark, and I'm kind of glad that one did as we get a bit of a celebration. That one was a vicious swing in a 17-run ball game. Schumacher throwing the hands up in the air.
Yeah, he put a good swing on it, but just hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark.
See Saito come up for maybe one last time for the Zap here today. That one misses high to him. 5'6", 156.5 pounds, Naruto Saito. Might be the last time I get to say that this year, as that one skips into him for ball 2.
I'm glad he put the half pound on there.
He's meticulous down to the half pound. That's what he put on his media day form, so I have honored that in every way I can. I will give him that half pound as he swings out of the batter's box for strike 1. Saito trying to get one last Zap hit before he heads off in a couple of days. He's ahead in the count now, 3-1. As this day kind of winding down, a 12-run frame, putting things away for the Zap as Saito clobbers that one foul over the right field line for strike 2.
Good swing there from Naruto, just a little bit out in front, but has the right idea.
As the 3-2, that one misses high and outside.
You could tell he wanted to swing the bat.
He gets 2 walks in what might be his last game in his Zap uniform, as he's been battling some injuries, going to be heading back home here soon, but despite only getting him for half a season, it has been a treat to always see him out there. Was instantly a fan favorite from the day he stepped in Piers. That one gets away from French, but no Zap runner going to run on that one. Gavin Frazier sure looked like he wanted to.
Well, French, and now it's getting away.
They're still trying to get it in.
Gavin Frazier and French, that ball got away from him. French didn't even chase it. He looked back at Gavin Frazier to see if he was running, and Frazier looked at him like, it's 20-3, man.
We're winning by 2 touchdowns, man. This would have been a low-scoring football game. Bazansky to the plate, and that one misses way high. French having a jump for that one.
A bit of a defeated look on the prospects out there.
Credit to them. They played one of the better ball games we've seen at Hyde Stadium yesterday, as that one skips into the foot of Bazansky and will walk the point extra in for the Zap. 21 as Nick Golden comes to the plate, and we said they do their work with 2 outs. And
here we go again.
I don't, as an employee of the Zap and their broadcaster, I say this as joking as possible. I kind of hope we get out here.
You do feel for the prospects as Golden drives that one into the gap.
Clobbers that one. Pugrad scores. So does Saito for the last time as Golden trots into second base. And Zap add on a safety to their total, 23-3. As Jake Daly comes to the plate.
Well, you feel for the prospects because they're a short roster. I mean, you think of your own team in the position of a 23-3 game. You just feel bad. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You feel bad.
Daly to the plate. That one goes foul. Last night it might have been fair, but that one goes foul for Daly. He's kind of waiting to tee off on that off-speed pitch. And he's behind the count 0-1. We'll see if Fleck can get him that one. A soft pitch missing high for ball one.
Well, now we're really seeing the position player pitches where he's just lobbing them in there.
As another one here, the Ephus in there for strike two.
Yeah, if you can call it that.
He took everything off of that one. These are not crossing the plate at, I think, anything more than maybe 50 miles an hour. Daly unloads on that one. That one going to die at the track, much like Gledhill's. Had to create all the power himself. But the Zap had three. They lead 23-3. Yes, 23-3. As we will be right back here on River 92.7 for the top of the seventh.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night, so get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
We thought he was gone, but he's back. It's Braxton Clemens on the mound who will make his final appearance in a Zap uniform, his only Zap uniform, as he turned the rest in earlier this afternoon. We thought he was halfway to Dallas at this point, but he turned the car around after that 12-run fifth-inning frame, and he's here to record the final 3 outs of this ball game before he truly hits the road.
He knew his team needed him in this high-leverage situation here.
Well, it's a 23-3 lead for the Oahe Zap here at Hyde Stadium. Safe to say it's been all Zap today. You got to give credit. Jackson Schumacher hit a nice home run earlier today, but that was eons ago. 1 run in the first.
Hit 2 homers today, but they both feel like they were yesterday at this point.
1 run in the first for the Zap, 4 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third. The only inning they didn't score was the bottom of the fourth. They bounced back somewhat nicely in the bottom of the fifth, scoring 12 runs, and then they scored 3 there in the bottom of the sixth. And, well, if they want to secure the run rule, they just got to make sure they don't give up 11 runs here in the top of the 7th inning, and they'll go home winners. It's a Zap fired around the infield.
It's a day where you might run out of computer ink just trying to print off the box score, as there is just a lot of doubles for the Zap today. 10 walks, 18 RBIs. Just, it was all them.
Well, when I write my recap tomorrow morning, I think it'll just say, if you see them on the lineup, they scored. Zap win. Maybe 23-3. We'll see if the prospects can get anything going here in the top of the 7th. Braxton Clemens out for his swan song here for the Oahe Zap. His first pitch is in there for ball 1. He's facing that guy that's gone deep, Jackson Schumacher. Clemens with the 0-1. That one is lifted. Has he done it for a 3rd time today? That one is going to leave the ballpark. Jackson Schumacher having himself a day, even though it is likely in a losing effort. That's his 2nd home run of the ball game, 3rd for the prospects here today. Jackson Schumacher and Mike Valdivia have both gone deep. It's a good highlight reel swing there for Jackson Schumacher.
Just put a black box over the scoreboard and throw that one in the highlight tape.
Absolutely.
I said it last night about Aiden Johnson's home run, but that was Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead to 42-esque.
So it's 23-4. This one off the plate, out in front of the mound. Cadena going to throw the mask, fire down to first, and Gledhill, who doesn't play much first base, can't pick that one off the dirt. So the Prospects have a little something going here in the top of the 7th.
You got the Zap right where they want them.
That'll bring up Mike Valdivia. He's got a runner on first, nobody out, as the Zap just try to get this thing in the record books and make it official. Valdivia climbing in that left-handed batter's box. Clemens coming set and working quickly. And this one's driven by Valdivia, but right on a line and directly to Jake Daly, who makes the catch for the first out of the top of the 7th here. And Daly didn't have to move an inch. He started to retreat, then just kind of planted his feet. And you saw that one coming right at him. So they'll bring up Drew Borner, who checked into first base when they made all those defensive adjustments. Borner takes strike one on the outside corner. You got to remember, even though this game is well out of reach for the Prospects, as Borner wears one, that's the last thing he wanted. Clemens with a shake of the head, almost to say, I'm sorry for that one, but you got to remember, these guys are hitting to keep their batting averages high. They're showing off for other colleges. A lot of guys will come play in this league and transfer to different schools. So that'll bring up Elijah Russell. Russell wearing the black and red Jordan cleats, the baby blue arm sleeve, and the almost putty green batting gloves. As he grounds this one to shortstop. This could be two. On to second for one. And on to first for the 6-4-3 double play. The Zap get the win. They put up 23 on the scoreboard. They win it 23-4 via run rule in the 7th inning. They split the series with the Prospects. They'll get a couple off days before coming back home after a 2-game road series with the Spearfish Sasquatch. We'll tell you about the upcoming schedule when we return for our post-game show here on River 92.7. Zapper winners 23-4 here at Hyde Stadium on a Sunday afternoon.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Well, it was a whole lot of offense for the Oahe Zap, who certainly get back at the Prospects for doing the same thing to them yesterday. Zap win by run rule 23-4 And they go out winners today, regain that momentum that they had lost yesterday afternoon. Zap will have the day off tomorrow. They're cheering out there in right field as they say goodbye to some players and say hello to some new players. Kind of forget, but it happened a while ago. Jake Fuller had a pretty good outing in his first showing as a Zap starter here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a great start for him. Great debut, and, man, if that's what's to come, you got to be excited if you're a Zap fan.
Well, the Zap score a whole bunch of runs, and I think we know who our player of the game is today. Could go to about 15 different guys, but Gavin Frazier had himself an outstanding afternoon at the plate.
Yeah, 5-hit day. The only time he didn't get a hit was he reached on an error where he made it a very difficult play to make and could have been scored, maybe a hit. It was just an outstanding day where he just got about anything he wanted while he was out there. Had a handful of stolen bags, and, man, he was just incredible.
Zap will have the day off tomorrow. They go on the road for a very important 2-game series against Spearfish, and then we'll come back home for a while as they've got the Bison, they've got the Hastings Sodbusters, they got the Casper Spuds, and the Fremont Moo all on the home schedule to start off July. We'll have the coverage for you next Thursday evening against the Bison starting at 5:55 here on River 92.7. And first pitch set for 6:05. And we will be very much looking forward to bringing you that coverage. For our producer-director, Eli Lewis, for Dylan Beach, my partner in crime, I'm Justin Cowart, saying so long on this Sunday afternoon. One final time from Hyde Stadium. It's 23-4. The Zap get the win. Big thanks to Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, to Pierre Regional Airport, and for Venture Communications for delivering our first inning Fiber Fact. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday evening when the Zap take on the Bison here at Hyde Stadium.
This broadcast of Oahe Zap Baseball was brought to you by DRG Media Group and its sponsors. The next home Zap game will be broadcast right here on River 92.7 and DRGnews.com. Thanks for tuning in.